Hey everybody, it's Fox with FoxeoGames, and we're here with a Fox Recommends for Remnant from the Ashes. Now, if you know me, you know I prefer to play on PC for a variety of reasons, but this game is also available on Xbox One and PlayStation 4, and I heard it's pretty good on those systems too. Obviously, as long as you have a good PC, a gaming PC, you're going to get much better performance and graphics out of playing on that platform rather than the consoles. But hey, pick your platform of choice and roll with it, guys. It's mostly the same game either way. Not a lot of mods out for this game as far as I can tell, but definitely visit the PC Gaming Wiki for all your latest PC gaming mods and hacks and tweaks and all that other good stuff. That's the best place to find most of them. So, what do I think of Remnant from the Ashes? Well, I gotta tell you this much. I was pretty surprised. I thought that this game would be kind of a cheap throwaway experience. I figured, hey, you know, they're trying to capitalize on it by leaking out there that it's, quote, like Dark Souls, like, you know, every other game has been for a long time now, but in some ways, it is. You've got your respawn points where you restock. You respawn the enemies, yourself as well if you die there. You respawn your consumable healing items, and you have a thing called Dragon Hearts, where you can use them a certain number of times. You hit one of the spawn points or checkpoints, and then of course it restocks the number of times you can heal and respawns all the enemies in the area, but not the bosses. At least not that I've had so far. So it's kind of like Estus and Bonfires. You can level up your character. That's cool. Obviously getting experience points by killing enemies, that's standard for an RPG, but at the same time you can also choose a class, which doesn't matter all that much in the end. And then you can put traits, skill points into different traits. So this is nothing drastically new or novel, but you know what? It's actually fun. The gunplay, the combat, and the gameplay are all excellent. They all kind of mesh together quite well. You want to make sure to keep upgrading your gear and to keep it upgraded, because if you go into an area and your gear's not upgraded properly, you're going to have a tough time. This game is pretty challenging, particularly when you hit the bosses and mini-bosses. There will be huge difficulty spikes at times. I found that there was one particular enemy in one of the first major kind of dungeon areas of the game that challenged me a lot more than anything prior to that had. There are lots of little ads in this game. I made a joke on Twitter, which, by the way, if you don't follow me there, do so now. Link is in the description. I made a joke on there where I said that basically it was going to be called Ads the Video Game, and that's a joke. But for real, there are a ton of little enemies in this game, ads that get thrown into fights. There are boss battles, which are essentially just lots of smaller enemies coming at you all at once. They have like rush modes, or what do they call it? Horde mode. They have these horde mode fights where you're stuck in this kind of arena, you see it right now, and enemies come from everywhere, out of every nook and cranny attacking you. Sometimes there's a boss, but there's also a whole bunch of ads with the boss, and to be honest, I'd rather just fight one interesting boss that's fun and engaging and challenging than to fight a mediocre boss with a ton of ads that are really not interesting because you fought them all throughout the level. In this area here, this isn't too bad. The Harrow, or Harrow, however it's pronounced, this boss is interesting by himself. He's not too terribly difficult, but he will run off and then a whole bunch of ads spawn. You have to kill those ads before the boss comes back if you want the best experience. So basically it teaches you to be quick on the draw, to knock out all the smaller enemies. So it's resource management. You have a limited number of ammunition, or bullets rather, limited number of shots that you can fire. So what that means is that once you run out, you're going to have to use your melee until you can pick more up. Enemies drop them quite frequently. They're found throughout the levels, but that does mean that you got to conserve ammunition. You can't just shoot willy-nilly. There are items that allow you to restock all your ammunition. You can either purchase those or find those in the game. There's a lot here. There's equipment to upgrade, as I mentioned before, not just guns and whatnot, but also armor, different outfits to put on, so you can pick either what you think looks good or what gives you the best stats for what you want. Ultimately, you know, you're going to have to make that trade-off. Do you want that cool-looking trench coat that you think looks awesome, or do you want to pick that other equipment, that other gear that really gives you the stats you're looking for? You want to match your gear to the traits you're specializing in, also to the weapons you're using, and to your playstyle as a whole. And there are these unique abilities where as you use your weapon, you build up towards it. It's like a weapon mod. You build up this mod energy, and when you get enough mod energy, you can then engage that mod's special ability, which might be creating a little healing aura around you, as you see right here. It could be inflicting fire damage on enemies that you shoot. It could be a number of different things. So there's a lot to do here. There's a lot to customize. That is one of the signs of a good RPG nowadays. And I think you can call this an RPG. It's one of those first-person shooter RPGs. It's a Dark Souls with guns y'all. And it is actually surprisingly well done for what it is. For me, it seemed to come out of nowhere. I hadn't heard about it until it was pretty much ready to be released. But then again, I hadn't been keeping up with the gaming news like I should have. I've been a little out of it in the past, I don't know, year. It took me like, I think, a year and almost a month to get out my last video. So, yeah, I've taken a little bit of a break from YouTube. But I'm back, at least for now. We'll see what happens. No guarantees, guys. This is not my career. I barely make anything off the ad revenue here. Barely anything at all. Trust me. But when it comes to Remnant from the Ashes, would I recommend it? Absolutely. I think it would be great at the full price. I believe it's selling for $50 on the PC, but probably $60 for the consoles. That's typically how that goes, although some PC games nowadays are also $60. If you want to wait for a sale, wouldn't be a bad idea, but if this game looks interesting to you, then I think you will find it very interesting and satisfying. So, definitely check it out if you are at all interested in what you see on the screen. I'm Fox with FoxeoGames, and I will see you all next time.